I work best alone. I pick these hard things that most people think you can't finish anyway. You go out there, you grind, you're alone, you're in your own head. I work best alone, so those are easier. I figured out a way to kind of challenge your mind, channel it and challenge it at the same time. And I figured out a way to kind of just have an indestructible toolbox in your mind, so shut out a lot of noise. I only have people in my life that need to be there. If you don't need to be in my life, I'm not about acquiring more friends. I'm not about noise. I'm about, okay, are you trying to go somewhere? You can jump on board. If not, I don't want to hear all your problems. Do you have a solution for your problem? That's what I'm all about right now. So I'm not about whining, bitching, complaining. I'm about, okay, we need to go this way. You have to go dark. And what I mean by that is you have to be quiet in your mind. It's okay to be alone. It's also okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I'm fucked up. So you gotta go to the truth first. Who are you? Get really accountable and say, okay, who am I? What's the truth about me? Get to that dark place in your mind. Figure out, it may take months, it may take years. Figure out your purpose. Figure out what you want to be in life. And then from there, okay, I have my purpose. It may take a long time. No one knows their purpose because it's too loud. Find your purpose. From there, all right, you gotta start planning. People love the planning phase because it's very comfortable. Then from the planning phase, you gotta go to execution. So the execution phase, what we all hate, because that's where the real work begins, and that's when the failure happens, and the failure. So, but you know, that's kind of how you have to do it. One of my best qualities is I'm open-minded to the right people, but I don't respect a lot of people. Because how am I going to respect you, anybody, if you're not grinding it? And I don't mean working out, getting to the gym, really going out there and grinding. So if you don't know how I'm living my life, how am I going to respect you? So you have to be a hard worker, period, dot. You got to work an ass off. That's where I gain respect for you. So if you're working hard every day, now you have an opinion in my eyes. But if I see you every day of your life trying to be better, every day going through all the wickets to be better, you got my attention. I respect you now. So respect is the first thing. I don't drink. I don't go out. My regimen is I wake up, have oatmeal, run, come back, hit the weights, and I stress out at nighttime. I find people that I trust, which is a very small group of people who are honest and true to me, people who will die for me, and I'll die for them. And everybody else, man, you know, do you. And I stay to myself. And I let you do you. I don't judge people, I don't criticize you. You wanna be a douchebag and be an ass and not love this country, do whatever you wanna do? I don't care, man. I fought for this country for you to do you. And I am all about you doing you because I'm gonna do me. And I'm gonna do me until I'm dead. And I believe I earned the right. A lot of people haven't earned the right. Just because you live in this country, I mean, you earned the right. You gotta live a little bit. Live. A lot of times in my life, I would see people, and it probably was a direct reflection of who I was. Yeah. And I would get mad at them, but in reflection, it's probably just be getting mad at myself. I got my milkshake, Perk Rock. I love to see people who were getting beat down. There's scenes that just drove me, and people in my hell weeks, they'd always hear me singing these songs, humming these songs in torturous situations. When everybody's quitting this code, I would be somewhere gone. I love a guy who just fights. I put these things in as reminders that you're gonna have to suffer, man. Man, you're gonna have to suffer. To go from this fat to one of the best guys on the planet Earth, this journey is gonna take something that is gonna be incomprehensible to most people. These different visualizations, how I visualize in my self-talk, it became so nasty and dirty that I almost liked the fact that I went 0.25. So it became from being defeated to like, man, you know, maybe the Marvin go 0.75. You know, it just became this different mindset. I turned negatives into positives. So I would take it like, who would even think about doing this? So I would sit on my couch saying, who at 297, who can't swim that great, who's scared of the water, would have the balls? Who had the balls to man up, quit a job, and go and just put everything on himself? So it's how I started talking to myself and putting myself in a whole different category, and that would fuel me the next day. And I just kept using that as fuel. It kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear that I was never telling myself. And through time, it became reality to myself. I was so scared of the water that I had to live in the water. I had to become one with the water. So going to the pool used to scare me. And then the bike got easier. I was able to run more. I went from like 1 mile. 1 mile was a great accomplishment. 2 miles, and then from 2 to 3 was a big one. Then I went from 3 to 6. Like, they have a warning order that they give people to get ready for buds. And the whole thing was running 6 miles 5 days a week. And that was my goal. And so I just kept, I failed, I go back to scratch. Part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say that shit. I'm just not good enough. And then we try something else. I'm going to make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I'm gonna make myself good enough. I'm misunderstood a lot, but that's all it came down to. I made myself good enough. To be at the point of your life where you don't care about being judged. You can be in a room of 1 million people and they all hate you, and you walk in and you go like this. Not because you're angry at them, because you know yourself. Inside and out, and you know that you've put yourself through hell to be where you're at today. You've walked the walk. You've talked the talk, and you've walked the walk. And that's, to me, what it's all about. It's all about putting those boots on the ground and getting after it every day. And once you do that, you have a feeling about yourself that no one can ever take away or even understand. They haven't taken the time to see what they want in life. Therefore, he's crazy. I'm crazy. They put a title on us. And you know what a title does to people? A title is the greatest separator of all time. It allows you to go away in your comfort zone saying, he's just nuts. He's special person. That gives you a get out of jail free card. You can go ahead and be normal now because we're special people. No, we found what we want in life. That's all it is. That's all it is. And very few people, they're all confused. Life's confusing because they make it confusing. Hey, stop listening to music for a little bit. Put your phone down. Put the computer down. Really focus. It relates to them. They're like, oh man, yeah. They can kind of go back in the dungeon, but these millennials grew up with all this technology and all this noise. It's so noisy out here that they can't hear themselves think. So the people who really get the most bang out of my message, even though millennials follow me the most, are people who are from 30s to 50s. Because they're like, you know what, man? Yeah, I can get that. I remember back when I was a better human being before I started being dependent on my phone and dependent on this and dependent on that. And literally, you can't even have a conversation with somebody nowadays because their minds are so serious conversation, an enlightening conversation. You can't hold attention span for longer than 15 seconds. That's why you're not successful. It takes a lot longer than 15 seconds to be focused on becoming rich, becoming a better person, becoming smarter, becoming more athletic, losing weight. It takes time. Your mind needs to be focused on that task. You cannot live in that normal mindset. You must be your best on your worst day. And how you do that is you cannot think of a normal mindset. You cannot have a normal mindset.